Donald Trump was president. He said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had.
As the clock ticks down to Election Day 2024, America finds itself at a critical juncture. With just 12 days remaining, the political landscape is ablaze with unexpected twists and turns. Former President Donald Trump, once again in the spotlight, faces a firestorm of controversy as shocking allegations from his past resurface. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris takes center stage, her voice echoing through town halls across the nation. The air is thick with tension as voters grapple with the weight of their decision. This isn't just another election. It's a moment that could define the trajectory of American democracy for years to come. As early voting numbers surge to record heights, it's clear that the stakes have never been higher. The 2024 presidential election is shaping up to be one of the most consequential in recent memory. With the nation deeply divided and facing numerous challenges both at home and abroad, the outcome of this election will have far-reaching implications for the future of the United States. In a stunning turn of events, former President Trump finds himself embroiled in yet another controversy. This time, it's not his own words but those of his former Chief of Staff, John Kelly, that have set the political world ablaze. Kelly's explosive claims about Trump's alleged admiration for Adolf Hitler have reignited debates about the former president's character and fitness for office. Seizing the moment, Vice President Harris has embarked on a series of town hall events, engaging directly with undecided voters. Her message is clear and unequivocal. Trump is unhinged, unstable, and unfit to serve. These town halls serve as a critical platform for the administration to make its case directly to the American people. As the controversy swirls, early voting has begun in several states, with record numbers of ballots already cast. This surge in early voting could be a telling indicator of the electorate's engagement and the potential for high turnout on Election Day. In the midst of this political maelstrom, we're here to be your guide. We'll break down the latest developments, analyze their potential impact, and help you navigate the complex landscape of election 2024. The political world was rocked when John Kelly, Trump's former chief of staff, came forward with explosive allegations about the former president. Kelly claims that Trump, during his time in office, expressed admiration for Adolf Hitler, praising the Nazi dictator's economic policies and authoritarian leadership style. These allegations, if true, paint a disturbing picture of Trump's mindset and values. They've reignited debates about his fitness for office and have become a central talking point in the final days of the campaign. Trump, for his part, has vehemently denied these claims, dismissing them as fake news, and accusing Kelly of being a disgruntled former employee. However, the allegations have stuck, forcing Trump to spend valuable campaign time on defense rather than promoting his vision for a second term. Capitalizing on the controversy surrounding Trump, Vice President Kamala Harris has stepped into the spotlight. In a series of high-profile town hall events, Harris has been engaging directly with undecided voters, making the case for the current administration's re-election. Harris hasn't pulled any punches in her assessment of Trump. She's been quoted as saying, "Donald Trump is unhinged, unstable, and unfit to serve as President of the United States." Her forceful language underscores the administration's strategy of painting Trump as a threat to democracy and American values. These town halls serve multiple purposes. They allow Harris to showcase her skills as a communicator and potential future presidential candidate. They also provide a platform for the administration to highlight its accomplishments and lay out its vision for the next 4 years. As the clock ticks down to Election Day, both campaigns are intensifying their efforts in key battleground states. Trump has been barnstorming through states like Georgia, holding large rallies reminiscent of his previous campaigns. His message remains focused on economic issues, immigration, and what he calls the failures of the current administration. On the other side, President Biden and Vice President Harris have been dividing their time between Washington and crucial swing states. Their campaign events have been more intimate, often featuring small business roundtables or town hall-style meetings. This approach allows them to connect more personally with voters and address local concerns. The contrast in campaign styles is stark and reflects the different strategies each side is employing to win over undecided voters in these final crucial days. One of the most significant developments in this election cycle has been the surge in early voting. Several states have reported record numbers of early ballots cast, both in person and by mail. Display graphics showing early voting numbers. This surge could be interpreted in several ways. It might indicate high voter enthusiasm and engagement, which could benefit either side depending on who has been more successful in motivating their base. Alternatively, it could suggest that voters have already made up their minds and are eager to cast their ballots, potentially limiting the impact of last-minute campaign efforts or October surprises. Political analysts are closely watching these early voting trends, trying to glean insights into what they might mean for the final outcome. However, as we've learned from previous elections, early voting numbers don't always accurately predict the final result. The recent controversies and campaign activities have had a noticeable impact on voter sentiment. Polling data shows significant shifts in key demographics. For instance, the allegations about Trump's alleged admiration for Hitler seem to have particularly affected his support among moderate Republicans and independents. Some polls show a 5 to 10 point swing away from Trump among these groups in the days following Kelly's claims. Conversely, Harris's town hall events appear to have resonated with young voters and women, two demographics crucial to the Democratic coalition. Polls indicate increased enthusiasm among these groups, with more saying they're very likely to vote. However, it's important to note that polls are snapshots in time and can be affected by various factors. The real test will come on Election Day when Americans cast their ballots. As we enter the final stretch of this historic election, let's recap the key developments we've discussed. Former Trump Chief of Staff John Kelly's explosive allegations about Trump's alleged admiration for Hitler, Vice President Kamala Harris's strategic town hall events, and strong condemnation of Trump-intense campaigning in battleground states by both sides. A significant surge in early voting across multiple states. Shifts in voter sentiment, particularly among key demographics. The unprecedented levels of early voting we're seeing could have significant implications for the election outcome. High early turnout could indicate increased civic engagement, which is positive for democracy regardless of the result. However, it also means that many voters have already made their decision, potentially limiting the impact of last-minute campaign efforts or breaking news. This election is about more than just who will occupy the White House for the next 4 years. It's a referendum on the direction of American democracy. The stark contrast between the candidates and their visions for America's future means that the outcome of this election could shape U.S. policy, both domestic and foreign, for decades to come. The allegations against Trump and the administration's response have further polarized an already divided electorate. Regardless of the outcome, healing these divisions and finding common ground will be one of the most significant challenges facing the next president. As we conclude, it's crucial to emphasize that every vote matters. The record-breaking early voting numbers we're seeing are encouraging, but there's still work to be done. If you haven't voted yet, make a plan to do so. Research your local candidates and ballot measures. Engage in respectful dialogue with those who might disagree with you. Remember, democracy is not a spectator sport. It requires active participation from all of us. As we count down these final 12 days to election 2024, let's commit to being informed, engaged citizens. The future of our nation depends on it. Thank you for joining us for this election 2024 update. Stay tuned for more breaking news and analysis as we approach this pivotal moment in American history. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Until next time, this is Nisa for Artistry Info News article, reminding you that your voice, your vote, matters.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former Chief of Staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him. He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within, and even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens. And let's be clear about who he considers to be the enemy from within. Anyone who refuses to bend a knee or dares to criticize him would qualify, in his mind, as the enemy within, like judges, like journalists, like nonpartisan election officials. It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is. This is a window into who Donald Trump really is, from the people who know him best, from the people who worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and in the Situation Room. And it is clear from John Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas. Donald Trump is increasingly unhinged and unstable. And in a second term, people like John Kelly would not be there to be the guardrails against his propensities and his actions. Those who once tried to stop him from pursuing his worst impulses would no longer be there, and no longer be there to rein him in. So the bottom line is this. We know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power. The question in 13 days will be, what do the American people want? Thank you.